Hi, I am going to present video number 2 that is about lesson number 2. For the informative data, the name of the school, it does not apply. The theme, B, questions and short answers. Date, December 8, 2020. Grade, first baccalaureate. Class length, 45 minutes. Proficiency level, elementary A2.2 CEFR. Lesson plan designer, Laura Salazar Viteri. That is me. The TEFL objectives for this lesson. During this lesson, students will be able to, for listening, identify and follow instructions, as well as listening to their partners talk about what place would they like to know and why. For speaking, talk about what place would they like to know and why. For reading, read a text and match them with pictures. For writing, construct sentences about the people they know using be, positive and negative. The methods, audiolingual method, total physical response, direct method, and task-based language learning. The strategies: set realistic expectations and goals, speak slowly, use differentiation, whole class work, small groups work, pair work, and individual work. The anticipatory set: teacher talks about Eiffel Tower, the history on time, its architecture. Teacher tells a student it is an iron tower on the Champ de Mars in Paris, France. It is named after the engineer Gustave Eiffel, whose company designed and built the tower. For the main teaching input, in the warm-up activity, the teacher will show students some pictures of people in different places. You can see here the pictures, some of the pictures that the teacher will use. So here is one picture of the Tower of Eiffel, and here it's the Buckingham Palace. Teacher asks students, where do you think the people are? Teacher discusses questions as class, and teacher writes students' ideas on the board. So the teacher is going to start with a discussion about where do you think the people are in these pictures, and some other pictures that the teacher will show. Teacher shows students how B questions and short answers work. Teachers write on the board. Claudia, Spanish, the positive, and elicit the positive sentence. Claudia is Spanish. Claudia / French, and the negative symbol, and elicit the negative sentence. Claudia isn't French. Claudia / Spanish, and elicit, is Claudia Spanish? Because you have a question mark in here. So she's going to ask, is Claudia Spanish? Teacher writes some questions on the board so students complete with the correct answer. Teacher and students check the answers as a class. Teacher gives students a table to complete with the correct forms of the verb. So the teacher will give this table that the students need to complete with the correct forms of the verb be. So here they have questions and also short answers that they need to fill up the gaps. Students check their answers in pairs first. Teacher copy the table on the board and ask the students to come up and complete the gaps. That way, the teacher will know who understood the form of the verb to be, or who didn't understood. Teacher gives students a worksheet to complete be positive and negative. Here is the worksheet that the students need to complete. So in the first part, they need to write a correct form of the verb be with am, is, or are in these sentences. So for example, they have the first sentence as an example. We are very happy. For the second section, they need to write the sentence again with positive and negative contractions. So they have the first example as well. She is Brazilian, she is Brazilian, she isn't Brazilian, using contractions. For the part C, complete the sentences with the correct positive or negative form of be. You need to use contractions as possible. And in the last part, they need to write the correct sentence. Teacher walks around checking students' understanding and assisting students where necessary. Teacher and students check the answers, asking students to explain their answer. Students read a text and match them with the pictures the teacher showed them on the warm-up activity. Teacher and students check the answers as a class. Here is the text that the students need to read, and they need to match them with the pictures the teacher showed on the warm-up activity. That it was this one. So they need to match with these pictures that the teacher shows. In pairs, students talk about what place would they like to know and why. Students write down notes about the people they know using be, positive and negative. Students work in small groups telling each other about the people they know and asking and answering each other's questions. Teacher monitor and listen for correct usage of the target language. Teacher write example questions with correct word order, but with incorrect verb forms. For example, the teacher write on the board, is they from Japan? I'm Laura Spanish. Be you Chinese? And students need to correct these sentences, putting in the correct verb forms. Teacher and students conclude the class by reviewing the topic briefly. For the modeling part, the examples teacher gives at the beginning of the class and the answers to the exercise will provide students with clear contextualized models, which will show students correct form and examples of use in context. For the guided practice, students write some questions on the board. Students complete with the correct answers. Students complete a table with the correct forms of the verb be. Students complete a worksheet using be, positive and negative. Students read a text and match them with the pictures the teacher showed them on the warm-up activity. Students talk about what place would they like to know and why. Students write down notes about the people they know using be, positive and negative. Students work in small groups telling each other about the people they know and asking and answering each other questions. For all of these guided activities, teacher walks around the class to monitor. At the end of each activity, they check the answers with the whole group. For the independent practice, students write down notes about the people they know using be, positive and negative. Students work in small groups telling each other about the people they know and asking and answering each other's question. Teacher monitor and listen for correct usage of the target language. For the assessment, teacher write example questions with correct word order, but with incorrect verb forms. Is they from Japan? I'm Laura Spanish. Be you Chinese? Students need to correct this. So this way, the teacher will check if the students understood this lesson or they didn't, because she's going to ask each one of the students to put in order different sentences. These are just examples of sentences she's going to put on the board. The closer review and follow-up. The class will be concluded by reviewing the topic briefly. For homework, students need to write simple conversations of their own using be, positive and negative. Thank you very much.